Okay, in this class, let us understand about selection sort. In the previous session, we have already gone through bubble sort technique, and now we are going to understand selection sort. So, what is selection sort? Why we need different types of sorting algorithms? The basic criteria for sorting algorithms are it should be able to sort the given list of items in less amount of time with less overhead. Okay, that is the main requirement. That is why there are different sorting techniques. Okay, now in this class we are going to understand about selection sort. So what is selection sort? Why we have to call it as selection sort? Because every time it selects the items repeatedly to find the smallest or largest element. Okay, so let us see how it works. This algorithm will first find the smallest element in the array and swap it with the element in the first position. So first position is used to determine the smallest element. So we keep checking, we keep comparing with the next elements with the first element. Okay, all the elements are compared with the first element, and if it is smallest, that will be swapped with the first element. So first element will be meant for the smallest element. So after that, after sorting the first element, we just go to next element and consider that is the smallest element of the array, and copy with all, just compare with all the elements and swap it. Okay, let us see one example. See this example: 20, 12, 10, 15, 2. This is the array. Okay, first time we are considering 20, the first position, first element. Okay, and we compare 20 with 12, and 12 is smaller than 20. So swap 12 and 20. Now 12 will become the first element, the smallest element, and now 12 is compared to next element, that is 10. Now 12 is greater than 10. So swap 12 and 10. So now 10 will become the smallest element. Now 10 is compared to next element, that is 15. 10 is smaller than 15. So we keep as it is. And in the next step, we compare 10 with the last element 2. And 2 is smaller than 10. So we swap 2. So like that, we keep comparing first element with all the elements. If it is smaller, the first element will be swapped with that particular element. Okay, now the first element is fixed. You can see in this one, the first element, the 2 is fixed, its position is fixed. Now we go to second element. Now 20 is considered as the second position element. Now 20 is compared with the next element. 20 is compared with 12, and 12 is the smallest. Okay, 12 is smaller than 20. So we swap 12 and 20. Now 12 is considered, and 12 is compared with 15, next element, and 12 is smaller. So we keep as it is. Now after that, 12 is compared with 10. 10 is smaller than 12. So we swap 10 and 12. So 10 position is fixed now because all the elements are compared. Now first element and second element both are fixed. Now we have to compare with it, compare starting from third element. Now 20 is compared with 15. 15 is smaller than 20, so swap them, and after that 15 is compared with 12. Now 12 is smaller than 15, so swap them. So at the end of third pass, first three elements are fixed. Okay, in the last pass you can see that 20 is compared with 15, and 15 is less than 20, so we are swapping both of them, and these two elements are fixed. So how many passes are required? If you are having 5 elements, n minus 1 passes are required. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 passes are required. So in this example, they have taken the smallest element. If you can also take the largest element, take the last element and compare this element with all the elements one by one and find the largest element, and you can fix that element. After that, again take last but one and compare with all and find the largest and keep it in last but one. Like that we keep finding largest element or smallest element. The maximum element or minimum element will be finding every time, and will be storing that in its appropriate position. Okay, so as we repeatedly select the smallest element and swap it into the right place, it is called as selection sort. We keep selecting largest or smallest element. That's why it is called as selection sort. Okay. Now in the first pass, selections, the smallest element will be 1. So same thing is explained in terms of text. Please go through it. Now, let us understand the procedure for selection sort. The idea is what we should find either maximum or minimum element and put it in its correct position. Okay, then check other elements. One by one, we keep doing the same thing continuously. Now, let us take this example. What is the array? 64, 25, 12, 22, 11. Now, let us take the minimum element. First position is considered for minimum element, last position is considered for maximum element. So in this case, first we are considering with minimum element. Now 64 is compared with 25 and 25 is larger than 64. Now, after that, 25 is swapped with 64 and 64 will come here, and next 25 is compared with 12. 12 is smaller, so 12 come to first position, and after that 12 is compared with 22 and 12 is smaller, so we'll keep 12 in the first position as it is, and next 12 is compared with 11 and 11 is the smallest element, so 11 is stored in the first place. Now position of 11 is fixed. So after that, now 25 is compared with 12. 12 is the smallest, so 12 will come here, and 12 is compared with 22. 12 is smallest, will keep as it is, and 12 is compared with 64, and 12 is small as it is. We are going to keep because 12 is smallest among all these other elements. Okay, so 11 and 12 position both are fixed now. Now, after that, among these three elements, we have to find which is the largest. Now, we'll take 25. 25 is compared with 22. 22 is the smallest, so we are going to swap 25 and 22. After that, 22 is compared with 64. Since 22 is smaller, we are going to keep 22 in the third position. Now, these three elements are fixed. In the last iteration, last pass, we are going to check 25 is less than 64. Yes, it is less than 64. No, we are going to keep as it is. So this is the output of your program. Now let us see with your algorithm. So how this is done. Okay, first step is what? Reading the size of the array, that is reading n. So after that, we using for loop, we read starting from 0 to n minus 1 or 1 to n. Okay, anything you can follow. Basically, this should be, as we are using array, I is equal to 0 to n minus 1, 0 to 4. Okay, so we keep reading all the elements, just modify this, it should be 0 to n. After that, you have your for loop. I is equal to 0 to n minus 1. So how many iterations? How many iterations? 4 passes we require. So this outer for loop is indicating how many passes required. So that's why 0 to 4 is given. Now, find minimum value starting from inside for loop. We assume that the minimum value is the first element, the index of first one. Let me take annotations, the text. Okay, now I am in the first iteration, the first pass 1. Okay, what is the value of I? I value is 0 and I should be executed till n minus 1. If I take 5 elements, n minus 1 will be 4. So after that, minimum, I am having a variable called min or minimum, and I am taking 0. I values assigned to that minimum because the first element I am considering as the minimum element for the first time. After that, what is the next step? Find a minimum value starting from index I plus 1. Now, starting from index I plus 1, next positions. Okay, see here, 64 is the first element. So, leaving 64, I should start comparing from first index, from 25 to till 11. From second position till last, I should compare all the elements with the first element. That is why I am taking for one more for loop. Let me take it as 1.1. Now for loop, which is having j value. This is your j for loop. Now j is equal to I plus 1. What is the value of I? It was 0. Now 0 plus 1 is 1. So I have to compare from the first index value till to n. What is the value of n? N is 5. Basically, it is up to 5. Now, in this case, what I am checking, whether A of j is less than A of min. What is A of j? A of j is nothing but A of 1 is less than, what is minimum value first time? A of 0. Means we are comparing whether the second element is less than first element. This condition is true in the first case. 25 is less than 64. Now if the condition is satisfied, what should I do? I should swap I should consider 25 as the minimum element and I should swap it. Okay, how to do that? I should make use of minimum is equal to j. I am considering j as the minimum element now. Okay, so what is j value? J value is 1. So minimum is become 1. Okay, earlier minimum is an index. We are referring index, not the element. So understand that. So minimum is 1. So 25 is considered as the minimum element now. Now, after this one, again, what we should do? We should swap 25 and first element. Now, first and second element both are swapped. 25 and 64 should be swapped. So that's what we are doing. Swap. They have not written, this is algorithm. So code for swapping is not written. Swap A of 1, A of j, which is nothing but okay, A of 0, A of I, and A of min. What is min? Min is nothing but, now min is equal to 1. So we are swapping A of 0 and A of 1. We are going to swap 64 and 25. So after this iteration, the next iteration of inner for loop will be having j value equal to I plus 1. So what is I value? I value is nothing but I value is 0, first iteration. I'm sorry. So first iteration of, yeah, j is equal to I plus 1. It is correct. Now j value is equal to 0 plus 1. So j value is, I value is 0. So 0 plus 1 is 1. Again j value is 1. Now what you are doing? A of j, which is nothing but, sorry, j value is incremented, right? So first iteration of j value is over. Now j value is incremented. Now j value becomes 2 and A of 2, the third element, is compared with A of min. Min is what now? 1. So A of min. So A of 2 is nothing but 12. A of 1 is nothing but 25. Okay. Now we know that min value is 1 and j value is 2. A of 2 is less than A of 3. Whether A of 2 is less than A of 3, 12 is less than A of 2 is what? 12. And A of 3 is what? 20. Sorry. This is going to be A of 2. Let me take this example because it is not clear. Now, let us take the example here. 64, 25, 12, 22, 11. So this index of this one is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. Now, in the first pass, we are swapping what? A of 0 and A of 1. A of 0, 64 and 25 both are swapped. Now 25 will come here, 64 will go here. So in the second iteration of J for loop, J value becomes 2 because earlier value of J was 1. Now J value is become 2 and 2 is less than 5. The condition is true. So we are going to check A of 2 is less than A of min. Min is what now? Min is equal to 1. Now A of 2 means what? This is your A of 2 is less than A of 1. This condition is true. Now I should swap what? We should make min is equal to okay. I'm sorry if there is a confusion because the swap will be doing after end of inner for loop. So we don't swap. In the beginning, we don't swap. This is done after end of inner for loop. Now, minimum is considered as what? Minimum is considered as j value 2. So now I am taking 2 as the minimum value. Now a of 2 is less than a of 1. A of 2 is 12. 12 is less than 25. So I am taking 12 as the minimum. The index of 12 is 2. So I am taking 2. So after this one, this is your second iteration of inner for loop. Now we'll go to next iteration. Let us take 1.3. Now j value is incremented by 1 and 3 is less than 5. Now I am considering a of 3, j value is less than a of minimum. What is minimum now? Minimum is 2. Now I am checking whether the third a of 3, this is less than a of 2. Whether 22 less than 12, no, this condition is false. So I am not going inside if statement. I am going to next iteration of inner for loop. Now j is equal to 4 and 4 is less than 5. This condition is true. So again I am going to check a of 4 is less than a of, what is the minimum value? Minimum value is 2. Whether 11 is less than 12? Yes, 11 is less than 12. So I am going to consider minimum is equal to j value. What is j value now? 4. So this element 11 is considered as the minimum element now. After executing all the steps of inner for loop, j for loop, it is considered as now we got the minimum element in the list. Now what is the next step? After j for loop we are having swap statement. Now we should swap a of, what is the value of I? 0. In the first iteration, swap a of I and a of, what is the value of min? 4. Now 0th element and 4th index 64 and 11 will be swapped. Now your 11 will come here and 64 will come here. Okay. Now got it? The 11 came here and 64 came here. So we are swapping the smallest element with the first position element. Now this is the first iteration of for loop. Now let us take the second iteration of for loop. Second iteration of I for loop. And now I is equal to 1. This is your pass 2. In second pass, I equal to 1 because I incremented by 1 and I is less than 4 and we find minimum value is equal to 1. Now we left the first element and starting from this element we keep comparing all the elements using the inner for loop. And whenever we after executing inner for loop we will be getting what? 12 because 12 is the smallest among all these 4 elements. So we find 12 and we swap 12 with 25. Now 12 will come here and 25 will come here. Okay. So after executing this, again in the third pass, I value will become 2. Means I value starting from this one till last we keep checking for smallest element using inner j for loop. Now we determine 22 is smallest among these 3. So we are going to replace 22. We are going to swap 22 and 25. Now after this one, your fourth pass will be having pass I value 3. When I value is 3, it means that this is the last element. I mean, starting from this, these two elements are checked for smallest element. What is the smallest element among these two? 25 is the smallest element. So we're not going to swap. We're going to keep in the same position. So next iteration, I value will become 4. 4 is not less than 4. The condition is failing. So we are going to stop execution and we got the sorted array. Understand one thing? Every time we keep comparing with the next element, we determine the smallest element in the entire array and replace copy that into first position. Okay, after that one, we got the right position of the first element. So we check in the rest of the array for smallest element and copy that into second position. After that, again we keep searching for the next smallest element in the rest of the array and fix that position and copy that into third position. Like that, we keep doing the same thing until till the end of the array to get the sorted array as the output. Now after that, we are printing using for loop, we are printing the sorted array. Okay, this is about your selection sort algorithm.